Talked about having special guests all morning long as we mark 25 years of Jaguars football, live from the bank. And you recognize that guy right there, the big sofa, Damon Jones, drafted by the Jags in '97, tight end, with us this morning. So you got some fantastic perspective about some memories that maybe not everybody had, maybe a younger crowd out there thinking of the last few years of Jags football, but you're an OG. You're back in the beginning of it all. I got to ask first, big sofa. How'd you get that nickname? Is that a safe story for television?
It's a safe story, yeah.
Okay.
It was my rookie year, having to deal with the heat that we have out here in Florida. I used to lay on the couch after practice and try and drink the Gatorade and water and rehydrate. And Reggie Barlow just said, "You ain't nothing but a big sofa," because I came in a meeting late and it just kind of took off after that.
So what's some of your, looking back on 25, I know it's a big question, but your favorite memories and just favorite times being a Jacksonville Jaguar in the good old days?
Oh, yeah, definitely some good times winning some football games. My probably personal best is getting introduced in front of the fans here in Jacksonville. It's always a great thing. Hearing them scream the big sofa, scoring a touchdown is always good.
Yeah, absolutely. Preseason has changed and camp has changed so much since your days.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're dealing with Tom Coughlin, the head coach, as opposed to what we've got him in the front office now. Guys handle it a whole lot different. Talk to me about the evolution of camp for you and now what these guys do.
Oh, man, I saw the practice. I was out there, and they got like real breaks, like they get to break. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to call my mom and tell her she had me a couple years too early.
Yep.
I mean, the CBA, the way they've worked this contract, where these guys are out of the building by I think 5 o'clock or something like that. They can't go 2 days. We went 2 a day, 2 a day, 2 a day, day off.
Yep.
So I mean, they don't have the banging that we went to. So it was a real Camp Coughlin back in the day, and people don't understand that because it was long and brutal. But, I mean, the way they're doing it now, they're trying to extend these guys' lives in the NFL, and it's a good thing, and it's going to help the players.
So do you like things like this? So in fact that in 4 preseason games, you may see the starters for maybe one game. And do you like that? I know you played a different style of football. I mean, you were in these games. You had
it's
to play.
tough for me. It's definitely tough to see that. I know it's tough on the fans. Obviously, they want to see the big guys, the big names. But with the Jaguars, they want to be safe this year. I think the injuries riddled the team last year, and they definitely don't want to have that same thing when they have so many talented guys. They want to keep those guys for the regular season and move forward. So Doug has adopted a new philosophy this year, and hopefully it works, and it works out for those guys, and they take care of them.
Damon Jones, man, I love the trip down memory lane. I appreciate it. We're about to have Curtis Dvorak on, one of the crazier guys around. Before we go to break, I do want to ask one of the, just name names, the craziest guy in the locker room in your playing days.
That'll probably be me.
Was it you? Big sofa right there saying, hey, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the game tonight. We're back in just 2 minutes. Stay there.
Say we on, man. We back. Another great Wednesday, man. I hate we missed y'all last week. We had a couple technical difficulties we had to work through. But we back, baby. The locker room, live and direct. It's my birthday. I'm big boy made in this piece. My boy got me laced. Wait till y'all see these sweatsuits coming out for you. What's up, Worldwide? We back at it, baby. I got my man Worldwide with me.
Man.
How you feeling, family?
So I feel pretty good, man. It's it's been a long week, but we all got to go through ups and downs and highs and lows, man. But that's part of life, man.
It's real.
You just work through it and stay true to yourself and others, man. But it's been good, man. So for real though, Ray, I got a question to ask you, man. How you feel today, man? I mean, it's your birthday, man. You be getting hit up. I mean, people hollering at you on Facebook. I mean, man, you worldwide too, man. I mean, you got people from all over the world, man. You went across sea and played. So your phone probably slowing down right about now. Your battery probably low, and I mean,
I ain't never been one to brag, but I'm real confident though.
Yeah.
I'm lightweight, but I'm heavy, B. I'm real lightweight, but I'm heavy. So, I'm blessed. So I'm feeling excellent today. Wifey them woke me up the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God woke me up before them the right way.
Yeah,
Gave him his love and thanks. And then we was off dancing. But I'm like, we've been doing this all month. We started with the badge, though, when y'all blessed the game, huh? Hey, we coming right back on the 29th. Same location. We doing this 89, this Northeast Austin LBJ Blast. We're going from the 80s all the way through the
90s.
Oh, and we got the 2000s if y'all want to step in and see how the original
Just a couple of y'all, man. I don't want no jeans. I can't have the tight jeans.
Yeah, the dudes in the tight jeans. Say, be clear.
I can't have saggy bridges. I just can't do it, man.
You can't do the little boy stuff.
I can't do that, because my son at home, and I don't need the little boy stuff at this grown party we do on the 29th.
Marcus Sachs, what it do, baby?
Yeah,
more info flies on the way. Yeah. The 29th of November, Black Friday Blast, Northeast LBJ 80s on through the 90s, baby. We come together. Ginger's Lounge, 701 what?
West Pecan Street.
Yes. 701. But hey, man, I'm feeling good. It's my B-Day. AG, it's our month. Scorpios, we really run things. We're at the top of the food chain. But I got a special guest for y'all getting back to it, man. My man Damon Jones is in the building.
Damon Jones,
one of my G's. We go back.
What up?
We go back to Michigan, man. I love you, bro, but
love you too. Happy birthday,
so many
bro.
accolades I could throw upon you, man. You've been through the trials and tribulations. You've experienced the highs and lows of life at a young age. Boom. Now we finishing on top, and you being able to bless other people in the world. Introduce the world to you. Introduce yourself to the world, my G.
What's up, bro, man? It's Damon Jones. Happy to be here. Played 5 years with the NFL with the Jaguars. Signed with Michigan out of high school. I was up there Wildcat, Fab Five. I just got there right after the Fab Five. It was a crazy campus already when I got there. So just my personality, Wildcat, got myself in a little trouble. Went on to Southern Illinois, played 3 years, All-American, got to play basketball there, and played 5 years with the Jaguars. Injuries short my career, but now I'm coaching high school football. Got the wide receivers, special teams coordinator, trying to make the kids better, man. We got to, look out for, somebody helped me and brought me back up, when I needed somebody. So, I just try and be that crutch or that, that gap, stand in the gap for some of those guys that need somebody to, be there for them, give them that ride or, just give them that advice or somebody to talk to. Just trying to be that guy for some of these kids, man, that have the talent. And maybe not to make it to the NFL or the NBA, but to just get to college, man, and get that degree and, have a better life, and for their family, for themselves. And that's all I'm trying to do.
And see, man, you the perfect example for that, bro. Because it don't get no realer than that, dog. What?
Oh yeah, bro.
What part of Chicago? Tell them what part of Illinois are you from?
I grew up in Evanston, suburb Chicago. I heard Chicago. They was talking about Chicago, the basketball mecca. So I got to go with that. That was a big topic last week, I heard. But, Chicago. And I always wanted to play with y'all. And if I would have just stayed out of trouble, I might have got a chance to go to the Final Four or something.
I know. But you came, the year after us, D? What was you, 2 years after us? Were you in that same class?
No, I came right after you. I came to, my visit, I got to watch y'all as freshmen. Y'all was freshmen. Y'all played, I want to say y'all played Wisconsin on my visit, man. And, bro,
it was crazy.
I'm talking about, it was cracking. I was loving it. I was like, dude, Michigan told, when Lloyd Carr told me he said, well, we're going to have 11 games. And he said, 8 of them going to be on national TV. I told him, I said, where I sign at? I'm going to come to Michigan.
hey, but it was on and cracking it. Hey, man, I'm telling you. Early 90s through Michigan, boy, it was ridiculous. I don't even think they recruit this type of athlete anymore, bro. I think we ended that era because we hit it so hard.
Yeah, them Black Sox did it to him, didn't they?
Man, but we had y'all posing on the field. Like, the crazy part about that, man, and I hear a lot of kids even talk now, and back then, a lot of my friends, we talked about college experience. A lot of the athletes didn't get along, like the basketball players didn't get along with the football team. It was different at Michigan at that time. Kind of explain our relationship and how that transpired and how we was living up there at the time, brother.
Man, it was just all love at Michigan. I mean, I know some campuses have friction, you know what I'm saying, with the football and basketball, but we never had that. It was no hate. It was just we supported y'all on the court. Y'all supported us on the field. And then when we was both in the off season, we just had a great old time. You know what I mean?
Man,
the summer was lovely up there.
This is my man B Mac right here, man. I ain't introduced y'all, man. Worldwide.
What's going
High
on?
school.
Yeah, worldwide.
My G, since we was, baby boys. Cole in that football too. Messed up his knee in high school. We probably would have won state that year. Messed up his knee. End up getting out here in the world, working, owning his own stuff out here, and blessing the world too in a lot of ways. So that's one of my good dudes. You got any questions? I know you got plenty. You can hit D with anything. D, just so you understand, you co-hosting the show today. We rolling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You on here with us. We're going to sit back and chop it up.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but have you on for my birthday, my G.
I'm going to have a drink for you.
All right. My underground king. You know what it is, bro.
I ain't got that most nice though.
Say, boy, we gonna get to that story in just a minute. You got anything for him?
Okay, like when you said the mess up part of it all, when these kids go to college and they make a mistake, they parents need to know the transaction. Like, I know it's a level on that. Like, how much you messed up, how much you messed up, and you know what I mean? So, like, what was your trans to let these parents know? Because they kids could be all-American, all good, all of this, but tell me how you transaction and still came out on top and still end up in the NFL.
Well, when I messed up in Michigan, the first thing I did, I was goofing off in the dorms. I made a little old bomb. We learned how to make in chemistry class.
See, telling you some real stuff. We ain't lying.
That's real though. I mean, that's real.
But yeah, we
hey, but look, tell him. Hold on, D. I'm gonna let you tell. Tell him how big you are, D. Tell him how big you are.
Big old boy.
I'm like 6'6" right now.
No, when we was in school, you was 6'6".
At that time, I was probably on Michigan campus. I was probably about 6'5", 250, 260 at that time.
Big old boy.
Pro. He a pro at a baby, bro. But so he running around making bombs and shit. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that was the first thing. And then they put me on probation. It was a wild situation. I learned definitely from it. My mom is probably the one who saved me in that whole situation. She, because I lied about it. I ain't do it. I'm trying to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going with whatever I can get with. You know what I'm saying? But she was like, boy, you better go down and tell them people the truth, man. She said, I ain't raised no liars. She said, go tell the people the truth, and whatever come with you, whatever come as far as your punishment, that's what you got to accept. You know what I'm saying? So I went on downstairs and told the little dorm lady, and they whatever worked out the deal. I had to move out that dorm. I moved to another dorm, but Michigan being the political school that it was, they was having like debates about me in the political science classes. So they moved me like way to the other side. I'm talking about I'm living with the doctors, the residents or whatever. I'm still in student housing, but it really wasn't student housing. So I was getting like the checks like they was getting living off campus, and I'm still a freshman. And, going to that's how I thought that's how I felt I was that good, so they gonna keep me. So after that, we had the what was after that? What I do
What was
after
after that? That was when we was in the Jam magazine. Me and Jam. That was the store scandal. The store scandal was it, bruh.
Oh yeah, then the store scandal. Yeah, that was kind of that was the icing on the cake for me. We this little chick. She just she was giving us the free beer. It wasn't nothing that I wasn't going in there just sticking up the joint and nothing. It was it was wrong. But a college kid, I'm getting free beer. They already moved me way to the other side of the campus, so I'm getting the snacks, I'm getting the chips, I'm getting everything I need for that old apartment. But it was wrong. We got caught. They ended up watching the video. Luckily, when they did actually catch me in the store, I told the girl, I'm gonna pay for whatever's in the bag. I'm not gonna take nothing. And they didn't have me, actually leaving the store with nothing. So I was able to beat the case because I was already on probation. They wasn't on probation, so they couldn't, risk no trials in there. So I think they gave y'all a little slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
They was trying to lock me up in Michigan.
Yeah.
So
they was trying to lock up. But see, I'm gonna tell you some real stuff, bro. And this is the crazy thing. Everybody, it was a crazy story because it's really my fault. You know what I'm saying? And I took the heat with it, you know what I'm saying? Because I met the little chick first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But she wanted to holler at Jam. And how I was back then, bro. Like, if you trying to holler at anybody in the clique, you got to come with something.
Yeah.
She worked at the store, B. So we were going up to the store, and she was just letting us run through the store. We took the beer. But we was living on our own, so we was taking bread, cereal, soup. The store was next. Yes. And it was wrong, but at the time, I wasn't getting no bread. I was kind of living different, even though we was on TV every game. I needed all the perks I could get at the time, bro. You know what it was. Yeah. But those kind of decisions.
That's what we did.
But those kind of decisions, D, and we gonna get more into it, can transform and change your whole life and career, my G. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It definitely changed mine.
Man. No doubt. Man. No doubt.
It definitely changed my path. I think, at that time, I had already had, I had the bomb situation. Then I had another situation. I was on probation, had went home, left the state without telling them. So they tried to violate me. So when this happened, they was really after me. And you remember Shantae Peoples played safety for us too, right?
My God, yes.
Remember that was the same time Shantae had shot at the police. Remember they broke in his car because Shantae had all that music and they broke in his car.
The first
stole
time.
His music, and then the police, when they came to his house, instead of coming to the apartment, they went straight back to the car and set the alarm off again. So Shantae just came out busting.
Yes.
He from Saginaw, so he just came out busting. But he shooting at the police. So they had to call his girl. So at that time, we and him was both in the media a whole lot as far as facing a trial, Michigan players. And I remember me and him talked about it. I was like, man, they gonna get one of us. Man. You know what I'm saying? I think they ended up getting him, because of the evidence that I had on that video that I told I was gonna pay for it. I ended up getting off. But Mola was like, I don't care what you did. I know what you was going in the store to do. He just flat out told me, if you stay here at Michigan, I ain't playing you. Man. He said, I don't care. He said, flat out told me to sit on the bench. And, at that time, I told him I was going to transfer. And, it was kind of a quick decision. We had a coach leaving Michigan. He was a GA. He went down to Southern Illinois where I ended up going. He was going to be the wide receivers coach. So it made an easy transition for me. But I don't know. You probably remember this, but during that time, I used to just be in the rec, just hooping every day.
Right.
That's all I did. I didn't go to class no more. I just hoop.
Right.
And this was, some of the bad decisions. I wasn't even going to class. I stopped going to class. I didn't take no finals, nothing.
No doubt.
So when grades came out, and I'm trying to transfer, Moeller calls me. He's like, "What are you doing? You seen these grades?" I'm like, "Man, what? I'm like, man, I stopped going to class." He's like, "You got ineligible. You can't even accept a scholarship somewhere else until you get back up to Michigan. So you need to get your butt back up here." Wow. I'm in Chicago now because my aunt had already told me. She was like, "You need to get your butt home." So I went home. She made me work in the forestry department. This would really change my life too. She made me work in the forestry department.
Hold on, D. Hold on that story.
I got you.
We're going to go to break real quick, and I want you to blast them with that because that's life-changing there, boy.
This the life-changing for me. When I went to Michigan and Southern North.
Already.
Boy, it was...
Hold on. We're going to go to break. Man. We're going to come back. Second quarter, D. Jones. We got the professionals in here. Plus, he a homie. Jacksonville Jaguars, Michigan Wolverine, Southern Illinois, Chicago native, bruh. Evanston native. I love you. Second quarter, come back and get some insight. We'll see you in just a second, peoples.
I believe that the investigation was stopped prematurely when Rodney was identified as a suspect because of DNA evidence. From where the body was discovered, there was a T-shirt and then a belt, which was partially in the road, and then just a few feet away is across the other side of the road is where the beer cans were found. It's difficult for me as an investigator to believe they didn't at least take a look at the residence where they both lived at that time together. I believe that the investigation was stopped prematurely when Rodney was identified as a suspect because of DNA evidence. From where the body was discovered, there was a T-shirt and then a belt, which was partially in the road, and then just a few feet away is across the other side of the road is where the beer cans were found. It's difficult for me as an investigator.
Say, man, we live and direct, man. Locker room. I got my man D. Jones in, my brother, celebrate my birthday with me, man. He's a vet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He a legend in the game, man. Before we get going, please like and share this, man. Facebook is my B-Day. Y'all been showing all this mad love. Facebook off the chain for me, man. I can't even log in and share and like and do anything. So I send my love and respect to everybody that's been showing that B-Day love. I love y'all. But please like and share the video because I can't get in there and do nothing, man. I can't even play with it right now. This Facebook, we got to create our own net, man, our own internet, our own sites to where we can handle this and do it our way, D. Jones. And you up there making bombs and stuff, man.
What you going to do with that bomb?
Yeah, I'm done with them. I promise you that.
So, man, let's get back to that life-changing situation, homie. That's what I want to see.
So, that summer, talked to Moeller. I had to go back up there and get those classes right. So, man, I had to do two 10-page papers. Then I had to do like a page summary on an article for 30 days for a class. And then I had to do a research paper that was like 10 to 15. So I had to do like 3 papers in that research, in that article thing. So I had a lot of work to do. And, back then, it was like 94. There wasn't no real computers. Computers was really just kind of, the Mac. We had a little word processor. So I'm trying to fax stuff to the school, to get my grades, to turn the stuff in. And I'm still working every day. My aunt made me work where I'm cutting down trees. I'm slaving.
Where you working at, though? What was your job? What kind of work they had you doing?
Oh, I was in the forestry department. So, I'll be on a different crew every day. Some days I'll be on a trimming tree where they give you like a pole saw. And you just got to go. You know how the street, when you walk down the city block and they own the city part and they got trees and the trees hang over. I had to go and trim them things down And then the next day we go the whole, like it'd be like 10 blocks. Then we go with the next day and get the chipper and get all the stuff we cut down and put it in the chipper. Or they'll put me on the tree removal where like the dudes that work, regular, they'll go up in the tree and then I just stay on the ground and catch all the branches and pull them to the chipper. So I was just really doing manual labor work in the heat. I had to wear blue jeans, steel-toe boots. I had to be there at 7 in the morning, not 7:05.
That's straight.
I had to be there at 7. Yeah, so I had to be there at 7. So, I got paid decent, you know what I'm saying, for, a summer college job. But I just knew that wasn't what I wanted to do with my life, you know what I'm saying, going forward. You know what I'm saying, that, the choices I had made at Michigan had cost me. So I was going to, I learned my lesson. So let's go down to Southern Illinois, play football, do what you do well, do it as, to the best of your ability to go to class, and don't worry about the foolishness and making bombs and making bad choices.
Right.
The choices you make, in life, as a student athlete, are good and bad, and whatever choice you make. And this is what I've learned. You got to accept whatever comes with it. You know what I'm saying? If you make a good choice and you win a game and you get the glory and you're on the ESPN and everybody hitting up your Twitter and your Instagram, you can accept that. But when you make a bad choice, you know what I'm saying, you drinking and driving, or you know what I'm saying, you're out in the club and somebody take a picture of you in a bad position, you know what I'm saying, where you're vulnerable. You got to whatever come with it. Yeah. You got to accept that, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I learned, that the choices I made and how I carried myself and the things I did had to be smarter. I had to think about what I was doing before I did it, because once those consequences come, there's no changing that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's what it is, If it's you got to leave Michigan, and Moeller never really told me I had to leave, but it was best for me, I thought, that if I wanted to play, because, you're talking about, I was going into my redshirt sophomore year, I had 3 more years of eligibility left. So me sitting on the bench another year wasn't going to be, an idea for my career. So, I went down to Southern Illinois and really hit home for me. And what made me understand decisions, you'll laugh about this. You remember Johnny Falk, the equipment manager. Johnny old school. He cuss you out, but he love you.
Right.
And as a Michigan guy, you could be a redshirt freshman. You're not finna get in the game, and you can get about 15 wristbands all the way up. You get anything that the school got. So I get to Michigan. So I get to Southern Illinois rather, and it's the first game. Mind you, I hadn't been there. I couldn't go to Southern Illinois because I had to keep going with the facts and stuff, getting my grades and everything right. I couldn't actually go on the Southern Illinois campus until I had got eligible at Michigan. Mm-hmm. So people don't even understand that. I had to get eligible at Michigan before I could even go on Southern Illinois campus and accept it and sign my new letter of intent.
Right.
So I signed my letter of intent.
Finish what you start.
I signed my letter of intent on a Tuesday, which was actually the second day of school. So I missed all of 2 days. I didn't go to none of the 2 days. I was back and forth, I didn't have no fax machine at home. So I'm driving to, Kinko's or whatever it was at the time, trying to fax it, making sure it was light enough for the lady to see it, to read the copy. But when I went, our first game, I went and I said, man, where we get our wristbands from? And they said, yeah, go see the equipment manager. So I go see him. And I said, let me get some wristbands. And Ray, you know what he gave me? You know what he gave me?
What?
The tube socks.
Yeah.
The top part where like the ruffle part is at.
Yes.
He gave me that, like cut off, like off of them socks. So when he gave it to me, I kind of looked at him like, I looked at the socks. And I'm like, I'm looking around like he got to be punking me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you just came from Nike World, really.
I just came from Nike World, where you know what I'm saying. I was just on the my first day at Southern Illinois. I was on the cover. Well, the next day they had a picture of me on the cover of the student paper. This guy has arrived. Michigan transfer arrived.
Right.
So I'm on the cover of the school paper, and you handing me these socks. I said, is he serious? So I go back in the locker room and the boys, they already know what the deal was. I'm like, yo, man, what's going on with the wristbands, man? They just bust out laughing. They're like, man, you got to get your own wristbands here, man. You at Southern, no, you ain't in Michigan no more, baby.
Man.
So I'm like, dog, for real? I'm like, man. I said, boy, can't make no more mistakes down here.
See, I got to get focused right here with that, bro.
I can't make no mistakes down here. If I want to get to the, where I want to go, I can't make no more mistakes down here. So, it was at that point, it was just kind of grind time, and I went out that day 5 for 79 and a touchdown, on 3 days of practice.
And see, Ted, that's what I want to talk about, that big-time football experience, D. How was it playing at Michigan and then playing at Southern Illinois? Explain that difference and that transition for the people.
Well, when you talk about Michigan and the players that come there, walk-ons at Michigan are guys that Southern Illinois tries to get to recruit. You know what I'm saying? So a walk-on guy that Michigan may let on the team or may not let on the team is a guy that Southern Illinois is going to recruit heavily because they know they're not going to get a Ty Law coming out of, Aliquippa or a Monty Toomer that was in my class, the #1 player in the country that year. Southern Illinois didn't have a chance. Now a little bit more with social media, they might have a chance, but it's going to take a one big guy to do it to kind of change that trend, I think.
Right.
But it was just, it's just the level of play. I think the speed of the game. It's always been a difference as far as levels for me. High school, I seemed to be faster, bigger than everybody. When I got to Michigan, those guys were, I was just as big as those guys, but they were faster than me. But once I learned the game and able to play as fast as them, it became easy for me. And it took a while, a little bit longer in the NFL for that game to slow down. You see that with guys. I think it's starting to happen for Lamar Jackson. The game is starting to slow down for him.
Definitely.
I think the game is starting to slow down for Dak Prescott a little bit. I think he's starting to make some more reads, better reads as a quarterback. Somebody who I think has struggled with, as far as the game is Marcus Mariota. I think the game got too fast for him, and he wasn't able to adjust to the speed of the game. That's why you see him sitting on the bench. So it's always about the speed of the game for me, as far as what's the difference, how you're able to adjust that speed. Because in the NFL, you got guys. You say, okay, well this defensive lineman, there's no way he's going to catch this running back, but I've seen Marcus Stroud catch, Marcus Stroud as a defensive lineman 300 plus that caught, a guy like Sadie McCoy 20 yards down the field. That don't happen, it does because these guys, they work, they work at it, and they have, the speed that those guys have is unbelievable. So I would just say the speed of the game is what would change.
You can agree to disagree with this. I look at the NFL in certain aspects of timing. You know what I mean?
It's definitely timing.
Right? You know what I mean? Like you naming off Mariota and all of them boys, and he probably could have played 5 years ago. You know what I mean? And Lamar, Jackson with Vic. You know what I mean? It would have been like a kind of almost like a Donovan. You know what I mean? Because he can run too, but there wasn't no Vic. You know what I mean? So
see, I think
how
Vic,
that spurt come? It's like Kobe, LeBron. You know what I mean? Right. Jordan, Kobe. That 10-year and it's somebody else booming out, busting out on that. I think it's just like timing, man.
Yeah, it's some plays in the NFL are just timing. That. I think about some plays, and it's a play we had zero slot wider, 62X read. It's a play I know we ran it a lot. It's a play we used to go to Jimmy Smith. It was a play we could get him one-on-one on the backside. It's a 3-by-1 set. I run this play still with my young guys because the way it's run.
Wow.
If you run it with the timing and that quarterback on his fifth step, if he makes a decision, he decides to either throw the single receiver side or he reads the 2 receiver side.
Right.
Well, on that fifth step, he's got to make a choice. And it's timing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you have that timing and you get that time in it. You know, they talk about receivers and quarterbacks having that, combination or that just they work together. That's what it is. It's just about knowing their timing. You see Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott starting to get on that same level.
Timing.
You know, where he knows where he's going to be, and he can trust it. You know, I'm gonna throw the ball because you know what? I know we've done this play 10 times in practice.
Yep.
And I've thrown it on this time every time. He's been there every time. So I can trust that. Even though I don't see him, I'm going to have some pressure in my face. I can throw the ball and trust that he's going to be there. And that's sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But for the most part, it typically does with the timing.
So tell me this, D, and that's one of the things with the NFL and you going from college to the NFL. How was that transition for you? But especially I know it was a little bit smoother coming from that Michigan and seeing some of those guys that we played with and against on that next level. How was that transition? We're going to get to the basketball game part of it, but how was that NFL transition for you from Southern Illinois to the NFL?
Well, at Southern, I think I got a little lazy, you know what I'm saying, just in the competition I was playing against. So what really helped me was I got invited to the Senior Bowl from Southern Illinois. So that was good for me to get a week of practice against guys that on that Michigan caliber. You know what I'm saying? Because you talk about we played Ole Miss and we played a couple of Division I teams, but nobody where we're playing. The Ohio States, the Michigan States, the Penn States on a weekly basis where I'm playing caliber talent where the NFL is looking at those guys, obviously too. So, for me, it was playing in that Senior Bowl, getting a good week of practice, kind of, refreshing myself, I guess almost, and then going into that combine with a good combine. But really, the toughest part for me was just adjusting to the heat down here in Florida. Bro, I mean, it was a different type of heat down here, man.
Right.
I was like, man, that's how I got the nickname. Just kind of, just after practice, bro, I used to be just tired. I used to lay on the couch and just drink Gatorade and water to try and recuperate because I lose like 10, 12, 13, 14 pounds in one practice.
Right.
And that's a lot of weight.
That's unheard of.
That's a lot. So, as far as avoiding cramps and that type of stuff, it took a while to get acclimated to the heat. But I had a different type of coach too. I had Tom Coughlin, so he's from the old school. You know what I'm saying? So we had 3-hour practice. I remember, one time, man, we halfway through practice, that dude said, "Man, we're gonna start from the top." Like from the top, we started from stretching again. I mean, we started the whole practice over, like literally. We literally started stretching again. I'm like, well, I'm loose. I don't need to stretch. I mean, let's just get going.
This again. Y'all didn't do that the right way. Let's look at it again.
Man.
Yeah,
right.
I love
so
that,
now
though.
with the collective bargaining agreement now, man, I look at it. I told my mom, a couple of times, you had me too early. Like, I mean,
yes.
I get on this. I mean, because they literally had a 15-minute break after 7-on-7 where they sat down and like just took a chill, like just was chilling,
man,
and training camp. And this is like mandatory across the league.
Right.
So I'm like, you get a 15-minute break like this in practice? I'm like, dude, I could have played another 10 years.
Right.
I'm like, Mama, if you'd just, you should have made my daddy wait.
But look, the flip side of that, and I say the same thing about basketball, but the flip side of that is the money they getting too, and the offensive they're running. A guy of your caliber that played basketball at a high level and also could play football. Just think how you would act in the offensive they run now, the flag football style of football they play now.
Right. Yeah. It's tough. I would have loved to have been able to play against some of these defenses. It was tough for me to even get the ball, playing with Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardle, Fred Taylor.
Right.
But when I did get it, it was big plays. But, to be able to be featured in an offense like this right now, where they can't hit you up high, they got to target you where they hit you. It's kind of a powder puff league a little bit, and then the run game is really taking off. I think you're going to see the run game even get more effective with how soft the league is as far as passing.
Right.
That more teams are going to try to run the ball. I think that when you look at it, look at Ezekiel Elliott, you look at the Dalvin Cooks, you look at the Leonard Fournettes, the McCaffreys. These running backs, they're getting 3-4 running backs. And that's where the offense is going to, getting those guys the ball, the check downs, running those receivers off. Now, don't get me wrong, I want the receivers. I think the receivers will still get their due. But running back, a multifaceted running back that can catch the football, if he can block and run the football, he's going to be more valuable now than he's probably the most valuable. He could be one of the most valuable positions like McCaffrey right now. You look at that guy and the way he's, commanding the football for the Carolina Panthers. If he doesn't get the ball, 25 games, touches games, they don't have a chance to win.
They lose guaranteed.
And I agree. And
right.
see, looking at those games, and that's kind of what B was talking about with the timing too. Like Lamar Jackson's season, and some days I wish we could switch Harbaughs as coaches. Some days, man, because I love both Harbaughs, but the one in Baltimore designed the system to fit this quarterback. And I know we're supposed to go into halftime, y'all. We're going to kind of go through halftime. It's my birthday. I'm wilding. I got my brother on here. But Harbaugh gets fit an offense for Jackson, and it's thriving in the NFL. But like I know that film is a mother. So once they get that and put them in the film room, things will change. But what's your perspective on guys like Mariota? And it's okay on the show to call some guys a bust. But it's timing and getting in the right situation, because you've seen a lot of great athletes that never got to shine because they went to the wrong situation in the wrong place.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, when you got a Mike Vrabel, coaching at the Titans. Now, I don't think that he was sold on Mariota as a quarterback. Yeah. You look at the system he came from, Bill Belichick, where it's kind of gimmicky. And I think that Lamar Jackson, some of the stuff that they're doing, like you said, once they get the film on that stuff, it's going to stop. It's not going to be as effective. Yeah. I think as far as him running the football. The one thing I think about him being able to run the football is he's a really good baseball player, so he knows how to slide and get down and protect himself. Yeah. And that's the one thing I think with Lamar that helps him. Mike Vick knew how to protect himself.
Not really,
obviously,
though.
He had some off the field that took him away. That's what took him away from the game. Yeah. But he didn't have a lot of injuries. RG3, I'm talking about guys like recently. He couldn't get down. So if you can't get down, and I talk about that speed, these guys close a lot faster than they do at Baylor when he's playing against Baylor. So they close faster. So if you don't get down fast enough, he was taking some unnecessary shots. Now he's with Baltimore now, and what's crazy part is I believe Cam Cameron, he was the offensive coordinator at Michigan. Yes. Is offensive coordinator for the Ravens right now. And I know he's definitely a creative mind. Yes. That will create some things that'll be effective. Now the thing about it is once these all these other they're going to study it. They're going to study what is it doing, and I think it's a revamped read option what they're running in Baltimore right now. They kind of figured out the old read option with Kaepernick when he was effective with it. He was the kind of quarterback that kind of brought that in. Right. And when Baltimore played against him in the Super Bowl with Terrell Suggs, and they were able to shut the read option down, they said, okay, Terrell Suggs, don't worry about anybody else except Colin Kaepernick. Mm-hmm. I don't care what nobody else do. You got Colin Kaepernick. If he hand the ball off, you still got Colin Kaepernick. I don't care what nobody else do. And that's how they stopped it. Mm-hmm. So what's going to happen is you got to find they got to find a way to stop it. What are they doing? How are they blocking it? What linebacker? Who's releasing up to block the linebacker? Where's the double team coming? Mm-hmm. They're going to study all that type of stuff and figure out how to attack that. And then it's a chess match. Yes. Offensive coordinators will come back and find something else. But right now, with Lamar Jackson, they've got something that's working
very, very effectively, even playing against Bill Belichick, who had the #1 defense at that time. And the way the Ravens moved the football up against that defense was very surprising to me because Bill Belichick is a coach that when you go into a game, you can expect him to take what you do best away from you. And he wasn't able to stop that running game and Lamar Jackson. So for them to continue that is going to be, it's going to be a task for them, but it's also going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, he kind of hit him with his own medicine with them 2 tight ends and all that, and that kind of football is outdated.
Yeah,
but it's very effective.
Is.
It's very effective out here. So I want to know, quick question, man. Who in your NFL career was that athlete that just stood out? Like for me, I tell him when I first got to Michigan, it was C. Webb. Like he was just a phenomenal athlete at his size and how he possessed the court. Who in your NFL career were you in awe of? Because, we never really feel like that. We feel like we great, but we do recognize greatness as well.
Somebody who I played against, who I probably would say was in awe, was probably Deion Sanders. I really, honestly, I was covering a punt, and I was like, boy, I'm finna knock Deion Sanders out. Ray, I had him dead to rights. I said, boy, I got him. I got him. And then he's so fast. I didn't realize it. I ended up reaching for him. Like, oh my God, he done went past me. He done ran past it. I said, well, Lord have mercy. Man. And I ended up getting on the tackle. I said, well, next time I'm gonna knock you out. He got up. He said, God bless you. I didn't really know how to take it. I just kind of looked at him. I was like, is he trying to get under my skin?
He said, God bless you.
That's the reverse psychology.
Man.
Hey, them boys smart in the game, bro.
Yeah. And then my teammate, who I would probably say I was in awe of and practice against every day, and you probably know him, is Tony Brackens from, he went to the University of Texas. Tony Brackens was a guy, man, that he had just unbelievable strength, and power. And he would work out and he'd do 400, 425, and he'd be working out like, man. But he was he was cat quick in his shoulders, as far as trying to get a punch on the pass block against him. I was in awe of Tony Brackens. He was a guy that, going against him every day in practice, he made me better. And watching him go against other guys, I was like, man, well, he got me yesterday with it. So I'm glad he's getting somebody on Sunday with it.
Yeah. So did he try to hoop a little bit up there with y'all too?
Yeah, Brack did. We had the little charity games or whatever. But Brack had some game. Brack could dunk. Brack was an athlete. That. He was almost the same size as me, about 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
280, 260. He was a little lighter than me, but Brack definitely had hops, and he was a strong guy. I remember we played the Cowboys in the charity basketball game, and we beat them pretty bad. Brack led the way on that game.
That's what's up, boy. So we love talking this college thing, and we talk about the experience that we had and some of the hot issues of athletes getting paid to play and being able to shop their likeness and make money off their likeness. We went through a lot in Michigan, hustling to get money and doing different stuff. How do you feel about athletes getting that opportunity now and moving forward with this, getting the opportunity to get paid to play and possibly paid for their likeness?
Well, I think they should get some type of compensation. I thought, I had came up with a system that I thought was pretty solid. I mean, I like the likeness thing, but I think that's kind of based on your I guess, exposure. Like the Fab Five, you guys would have cleaned up on this new system, I guess, but how is it going to be fair? And when I look at the Title IX, you got Title IX, so, a girls volleyball team, how would they feel about, Ray Jackson? He made, $50,000 on his 21 jersey at Michigan, and she has a lawsuit now. So my thought was that when you get to whatever university you go, that they start to put a fund together, that they have a CD or something like that, where every year, based on if you win or you lose, championships, you get extra money, put into that fund. And then when you're a senior, they give you that money based on, jersey sales. You get a chunk of that money, you know what I'm saying, and say, okay, here's how you start your life off. Here's whatever it is.
Right,
it's based on you winning championships, how many jerseys they sell, you know what I'm saying, as a team, you know what I'm saying. So the Fab Five, you guys would have got collectively as a team would have made money, whatever, you know what I'm saying. So it doesn't single anybody out where Chris Webber would have made a bunch of money, and you like, man, how Chris making all that, you know what I'm saying. So it casts out that jealousy, because you're gonna have some of that too with kids, especially with the Instagram followers and the likes now. I think with social media, if the universities did that, put it away where it earns interest every year they earn the money, and you let them know what it is. You come up with whatever system the school comes up with and say, okay, if your jersey sells this many, you get so much money, whatever it is. And how many championships, Big Ten championships, you know what I'm saying? Because it evens the playing field, because you can't say we're gonna give these football, a guy like Kyler Murray, he would have cleaned up. But what do you say to a girl that's playing field hockey at Oklahoma that doesn't have a likeness? How does she, how is that fair? You know what I'm saying? Because that's gonna come out. That's gonna come out as far as
gonna be the
Title
main
IX.
topic.
Yeah, that Title IX is going to be an issue, and you're saying it right, but I'm looking at it from a sense of just give me the platform to be able to hustle my own likeness. Like, I don't care what C-Webb get or J-Rose.
Right.
Just give me an even platform, because in Texas I got a lane. I could go down there and do commercials. Like, it was crazy, bro, because I came home one time and I was on a box for, the portable basketball goals. And they had my number, my jersey, the same action, but no name, and I could never make money off of it. And I tried to contact the company and everything, bro. So, I mean, it's a lane for everybody. Like the women, if they hustle, they going to get on them swimsuits and do other things that women can do and market, the Sports Illustrated editions. You got gymnasts doing all that. So it's a lot of lanes for everybody. I think they just need to open the playing field and let us go eat and be who we are, bro. I just don't like.
I think there's a good chance. I mean, I think that they got an opportunity to grow that. I'm just happy that they're opening. I guess because when we tried to do it, it was just a flat no-go. You know what I'm saying? It was like, no, you can't work. You can't get no money. We can't even have autograph signers. You know what I'm saying? So now being able to have autograph signers and that type, I think that's something that at least that the conversation has been started, so they can come up with something that's gonna make everybody happy. And see, me and you different. Like, we wouldn't care if C-Webb would have been getting all the money. We wouldn't have cared about that. But now we didn't have social media. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have Instagram. We didn't have because they care about that. They care about that, and if it affects their followers and that type of stuff, you could have some jealousy there, and I hate to say it could cause friction in the team.
You said it right, and because I speak from a old school mindset, and you said it right. The likes and follows are big. It doesn't matter the substance; they just want to be liked and followed. It's crazy. What you got?
No, you good.
Yeah, I keep talking, man.
I
skipped through. Hey, Dame, I skipped through the show. We ran through halftime. We rolling, bro. It's one of them
we done went
shows.
through the third quarter and all.
We
trying to
through
be
the
shot
third
time.
quarter.
Yeah.
We
fine.
at it.
We fine. We fine. We good. We good.
Sometimes I get out there, especially with my homeboys, man, and this family. So I want to talk about this topic, man, and this is something that Red was asking me about, bro. And this is the state of the African American Union. How do you feel our community needs to move forward? With you working at the high school level, where do you see us coming as a people, as a black community? What do you think is needed? And this is sports related and outside of sports, really, the fundamentals, the foundation.
I think, man, we're falling behind. I mean, we've already been behind in education, but I think our foundations, elementary school is where we're really lacking at. I think that, if we can get a better foundation with our academics, that'll set us up for middle school and high school and in college. And I think that parents, I wish I had somebody tell me this when I was coming out of high school as opposed to when I was in the league. But I think parents need to be, and they need to follow the 3 H's. Parents need to be humble, meaning accept the things that come with their kid being recruited or, having good accolades, you know what I'm saying? Because they sometimes get on social media and they can ruin a kid getting recruited, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes the parents cost kids by some of the things that they post or say or how they carry themselves at games. So being humble, just as far as everything that you do with your kid, taking everything in stride, being just happy that somebody's even talking to you about coming to their university. You don't have to tell everybody in the world about it on Facebook, but just being happy as a family and praying to God that, that everybody stays healthy and that it works out for you. And then staying hungry, you know what I'm saying, that even though you do get an offer from the school you may want, you know what I'm saying, those offers really are just what they are, an offer. and I mean, it's kind of, if that coach gets fired, what's the offer? Is it still good?
Right.
What does that matter? You post, I got an offer, blessed to have an offer. And I get, kids doing it, but at the same time, what are you doing to set yourself up to fulfill that offer? Are you going to class? Are you being on time to class?
Right.
Are you turning your homework? Are you turning your homework in time? Are you being respectful to the teachers? Are you respecting the authority? Are you respecting the game of football, basketball, whatever sports you're playing? Are you respecting that sport where you putting in the time and just not thinking that, I could just show up on game day and that's going to happen for me? Yeah. So being humble, hungry, and then being honest. The being honest. Everybody's not going to the University of Michigan. Everybody's not going to Michigan State. Everybody's not going to Florida State or Florida or Alabama or Clemson. Everybody's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. The numbers ain't going to add up. It's just not going to happen. So be honest with what the evaluation of yourself. If your kid is barely playing as a senior, Michigan's probably not going to be the place that's going to recruit him. If he's a two-way starter and he's been All-American and he's got 3 or 4 stars, then Michigan may come call it. Michigan might not come call it. Depends on his geographic area. You know what I'm saying? That plays a part in it too, because it's hard to get a kid from Florida or Texas to come to Michigan and deal with that snow.
Yep.
You got to be a hell of a recruiter to sell that school and be able to have that kid come there for those 6 months and understand that it's going to be something he's never experienced before, and he's going to be away from his parents. Being honest, you lived it. So being honest with just everything that you do, man, it's how you carry yourself, how if you're being recruited, if you're not being recruited, how you treat people, and I think if parents start doing that, it'll develop more character, and I think that if we have a little bit more character, and then we can stick together just 50%, you know what I'm saying? Because black folks, we don't stick together really, man. It's like we'll come together when somebody gets shot and we'll sing our song and we'll protest, we'll do our thing, till the next one gets shot, but until some real action, and you hate to say it, but until some real action takes place, ain't nothing gonna change with us, you know what I'm saying? I think we gotta look at who we elect as officials that represent us in Washington, as far as the schools that we have.
Right.
Because sometimes these school systems are not setting up the black community to be successful at all. And we need to get some people that recognize that and call that out and make sure that our schools, where our kids are going to predominantly black schools, that we're getting the same that they're getting at the predominantly white schools.
Right. And that's real, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And we're going to take a quick break, D, and we're going to come back to you real quick.
All right.
Can we take a quick break, Kev? Yeah, we're going to take a quick one. Stay live, because I got to get Red in here real quick, and we're going to come right back, because I got to hit you with some Mac facts. I got to let you know what my man talking about. But I hit you right back. Let's go to this quick break, and we coming back. The birthday edition, the Ray Jack edition. We doing it live November 13th. The King was born. We here.
Hey, this is when we supposed to let them automatic things go out. But them niggas show out right there. They be ready to eat us. Pow, pow, pow. Yeah, exactly. We out here marching live, y'all. The Jakes.
Free Rodney Reed! Free Rodney Reed! Free Rodney Reed! Free Rodney Reed! Free Rodney Reed!
Boys in ATX going hard. What up, homie?
Free Rodney Reed!
Flags flying. They done marched around the wall. Rev, didn't they march around the wall and it fell in the ball? Yeah, exactly.
If anything. But they don't see what he did. He said,
Nah,
We out here marching live,
go
y'all.
back to Damon. Red said he good. He don't need it. He said you can go back
Jakes.
to Damon. Because everybody like Damon flow. They was just saying Damon, you know.
yeah.
For me going off kilter tonight, forgive me. You gonna go Damon.
Boys in ATX going hard. What up, homie?
Yeah, we gonna move on.
Yeah, we gonna end it after
Flags
this. This is the
flying.
last thing we get back. About 10, boy. We ain't gonna kill it.
They done marched
Yeah, 10
around the
minutes
wall.
on
Rev,
that
didn't they
last
march
segment.
around the wall and it
Yeah,
fell
but I
in
don't
the
want
ball?
to overkill because we got a bid
Say
on
we
some other
marching
things.
around
Yeah.
this governor's mansion. We gonna watch it
Come
fall, y'all.
in, they let you come in.
You see it? Well, let me in. Yeah, we on. We just, hey y'all, Colin Ray Jack's Facebook day, man. I don't like taking no credit for things, but it's janky on our end right now. They ain't letting the player play, man. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna keep it moving. I got my man Damon. He's still with us. D, you with me?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
All right, we good. Red wanted to play the back, man, until next time because he wanted it to come in with both of y'all, and we were trying to get both of y'all in, but this the beginning of our bond, man. And I kind of want to talk about the basketball, bro, and talk to us about being able to play. And we got another 10 minutes or so, 15-minute segment where we just gonna chop it, man. Talk to me about the transition of playing high school basketball, high school football, and playing college basketball and college football, bro. Talk about that. 'Cause not too many people know you NFL caliber, you live and direct, but you can hoop as well.
Yeah, you know, coming to Michigan, you know, I thought, you know, that was my dream. You know, I wanted to go to, my dream was to go to Georgetown I wanted to, you know, have John Thompson coach me with the tie, you know what I'm saying? That's what I grew up. So, coming to Michigan after you guys, I wanted to play, but Moeller was like, he wasn't going for it. Fisher was down for me to play. He wanted me to play, you know, but Moeller just, you know, he didn't see it in my card. So, you know, when I got to Southern Illinois and I was able to play, it had been 4 years since I played, you know, organized basketball. So it was really just really getting the timing. The first month was really timing for me, especially coming right out of football, was getting the timing down. But man, for me, it was adjusting to size for as far as the length of those guys in college. You know, in high school at 6'5", 6'6", I was the big guy. Right. You know, it was a few, like I played against Juwan in high school. He was 6'8", but, you know, that was kind of, you know, I didn't play everybody was, I mean, I didn't run into a lot of 6'8", 6'9" guys. So, you know, being you know, I had to learn to get over that length and use quickness and strength, you know, to be able to go around those guys. And when I did, if I couldn't, you know, get around them, you know, all the way, but be able to use that football strength in the shoulders and the arms to be able to hold those guys off and be able to get my shot off without getting it blocked. So it was just really learning how to deal with the length of those guys, as far as you know, hadn't been playing in a while, just dealing with the length again. That was the speed. It didn't really bother me because it was basketball, and you always got to move fast in basketball. So I just, it was just more than that.
Right. And see, that was big because I didn't know any. And Seth, we were trying to bring him on, one of our partners for life.
Oh yeah,
for years he had the longest kickoff return in Michigan history. But he was one of those athletes that played basketball and football at Michigan, and that's rare. How many of those guys did you see in your college career that were able to, kind of really play both? We had the McNabbs at the time.
Yeah, I mean,
Charlie Ward.
Well, the guy who came out with me, Tony Gonzalez did it. He only played a little football. He was mainly a basketball guy.
Right.
Antonio Gates, but I think he only played maybe 1 year of football.
Right.
In the pros, he was a basketball guy.
Big Dudley. We had Dudley at Ohio State. Remember
Ricky Dudley? Yeah, Ricky Dudley. And Ricky had a decent career in the league. He was a first-round pick,
right,
for the Raiders. So I mean, and he was 6'8", 6'9". So,
because he played,
it wasn't many though. I mean, mainly guys that played at tight end, defensive end. That's really where you get it at because D linemen gonna be, typically too heavy. Offensive linemen gonna be too heavy. You might get a receiver here and there, but they might be too fragile, and in a DB, they just might not be able to catch. That's probably why they play DB. So, with a tight end, I mean, I'm saying with a tight end, you got, you get the hands because you got to be able to catch in basketball. If you can't catch in basketball, you can't play. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, it's just, everybody touch the ball, so you got to be able to catch. And I've seen kids where, young kids, they be like, he ain't no basketball player. Every time you pass him the ball, it's a turnover. Every time you catch it, you know the guys I'm talking about. Every time you throw it to them, the ball hit the ground, and they give up their dribble, but the ball hit the ground because they didn't catch it. You know what I'm saying? So you can't play basketball if you can't catch the ball.
That's
true. I think, when you look at that tight end position, D ends, a lot of those guys played tight end in high school. So I would say that position translates and does well, especially with the body position as far as running routes. The Y-ops and Jason Witten's kind of made it famous. Tony Gonzalez had made it real famous, but that Y-ops and just being able to pushing that guy and get that shoulder, lean on him, just like in the post, lean on him.
Right.
You lean on him, then you fade away and get that, that body position. So it's just about using your body, and tight ends do it a lot. So I think that helped me a whole lot as far as football. And basketball, being able to do both as an athlete, going into the NFL with the speed, being able to get those defensive linemen that, run 4.8 at the combine. You're like, how does this guy, he's 320 pounds, run a 4.8?
Man.
So that's real, bruh. So the fastest guy you saw in the NFL, Deion Sanders, that was the greatest.
Yeah, to me, yeah. The player who I played against, yeah.
Best quarterback you saw in the NFL.
Oh, man.
We're going to go through some quick ones, so I'm going to test your brain. It's that fly segment real quick.
Who I played against? I probably had to say I saw Brett Favre. Brett Favre did it.
Best running back.
Barry Sanders.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw him before he got out of there in Detroit, man. That dude was
unbelievable.
Man, yes.
Best receiver.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Because you played with some killers.
I played with two great ones right there. I gotta go with my dog Jimmy. The way I saw Jimmy accelerate with the ball going in the air. There's only one other person I saw accelerate with the ball going in the air, and that's Randy Moss, like Jimmy Smith. That's the only person I saw accelerate with the ball. I did play against Jerry Rice too.
What about T.O. though? T.O. was nice in that era though.
T.O. was nice.
But he wasn't that nice.
I would take those.
He wasn't Jimmy nice?
Jimmy still put up good numbers. I mean, Jimmy
was a bad boy. I used to bring him on the game. You used to love him on the game.
Yeah, Jimmy was the man. I mean, you threw it up to Jimmy, he was coming down with it.
My man Al Guyton do a lot of behind the scenes. He used to bring y'all on the game, D. Jones. I'm going to have to get you down here. He used to bring y'all. Go ahead, B.
Outside of you on tight end, Who you give your best tight end to outside of you?
Outside of me, I got to go Tony Gonzalez.
Okay.
We came out of the same draft class. Tony really transitioned that position as far as catching the football. He was one of the first guys that moved out to the wide receivers, area, and was able to, do it effectively.
Okay.
But then Tony also took pride in blocking. You hear Tony, you hear him on CBS. He talks about his pride and his blocking. And for me, if you can't be a tight end, a true tight end, unless you can help that run game. And Tony would understand if he sees this. He understands, when they tell the tight end, you got that defensive end by yourself, and they run that counter, or you got to block down on that defensive tackle by yourself on that counter or whatever. I was one of those guys that could do that, and I took pride in it too.
Right.
So being able to block, I would say Tony Gonzalez.
Now on that other side of the ball, we stand heavy with it. Who was that intimidator? Who was that heavy hitter on the other side of the ball?
We played against Ray Lewis twice a year, man, and dog, man, that dude
is a dog.
He was tough to block, man.
Ray Lewis.
He was tough to block, man. Ray Lewis was tough to block, man. He had Sam Adams and Goose in front of him, so that really made it hard to get to him. But his speed, not only was his speed good, but his knowledge. He studied the game so good that he knew us, and we knew him. We knew where he was going to be, and we were able to get after him. But he made it real, real tough. And I say Ray Lewis is probably that dog on defense.
Them Baltimore Jacksonville games used to be some dog fights, boy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They really had people thinking y'all hated each other out there. That was some grimy games, bro.
Yeah.
So tell me this on the other side of the ball also, because I love Ty Law as both of us do. We seen Ty Law shut the running game. I was explaining to a guy the other day that I've seen cornerbacks shut the running game down. And I've seen Ty Law come up and make plays and tackles on that corner from that cornerback position to where they didn't even run his way anymore. Tell me something.
Ty was a strong guy. And I remember Ty when we was freshmen at Michigan. Ty would go in on a Friday. He would do this every Friday, and I wish I would start doing it with him, more. But he would do 225 every day, every Friday. And we used to mess with him, like, man, what you doing that for? Man, he's like, man, get ready for the combine. And we, freshmen, we didn't really understand it, but he did it religiously.
Man,
he did it religiously. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he's in the Hall. That's why he was just elected to the Hall of Fame this last year, because the work ethic he had. And Ty wasn't the fastest corner, but he was strong. You know what I'm saying? And he got his hands on you. That's what made him so good in the run game, because Ty was strong. So if you tried to block him, he was able to get rid of the blocker and get to the football, especially in the flat area.
Right. So who would you say was one of those DBs that you saw that was other than Dion? Because I know we had Prime, but somebody outside of Dion at safety. Who was that league dude? He ended up coming to play with us, but Carnell Lake with the Steelers was pretty tough. Ed Reed obviously was the guy who was tough.
Yeah.
He was young in his career at that time. He was just, he was like he was a young pup at that time. So, but Ed Reed and Carnell Lake definitely were guys that made it tough in the secondary as safety.
Right. So, we move on and we get to it, man. I appreciate that, love.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what you doing now in life after, because we got a curriculum that we bringing to Florida, Michigan, Illinois about life after ball. So talk to me about what you're doing now.
For me right now, I have my own podcast, the Keep It Real podcast. We film it at a little cigar bar on Mondays. We release it every Wednesday.
When I'm on, though.
I got you next week. I call you.
Locker room got to be live. Go ahead.
Say less. So then I'm a sports analyst for the local news station down here, First Coast News. That's the video I think you guys were playing earlier. Kind of just go in there, discuss the Jaguars weekly. What their ups and downs. The inside. What guys might be thinking in the locker room. The whole Jalen Ramsey situation. what guys may. That's kind of what I do, just the analyst part.
Right.
And then I got a radio show that I do on Thursday. So man, I'm busy.
Say
Got a
that's
radio
what I'm
show that
loving.
I'm doing on Thursday on iHeartRadio 9:30 here locally in Jacksonville. Do that with Gene Fournette. He's a column writer here, beat writer here in Jacksonville. He's been here. He covered me actually when I played. So he's been down here for 20 plus years. So we do that radio show every Thursday. And then I'm coaching high school football over at Reebok High School. I'm the receiver coach and special teams coordinator. So we'll see how that goes. They removed our head coach. So we got some plans to see what happens. I'll go ahead and put it out there. I did put my name in the hat for the head coach. So we'll see how that goes. There's like 90-something applicants. It's a big time. It's a big time position down here.
What school is it? What school is it? Talk to
us. John Reebok High School. We got the Reigns Classic down here. It's Northwest Classic. Ray, you ain't never seen a high school football game like this. These schools are less than a mile apart, but we play football game, and man, they tailgate. They sell these tailgate spots for like $250 a spot. High school, man. And they open it. They open the tailgate like 6 in the morning, man. And folks be out there barbecuing. They do it up big. It's a real thing. It's a community thing. Like I said, you can walk literally from both schools in less than 10 minutes.
Wow.
That's literally how far they are. But they play this game. This year was the 50th Northwest Classic. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, God's gonna look out for me and put me in there. I got a couple kids that we can put in college.
So look, man, this is what I need you to do. I need you to make sure that you send me all the information so we can promote those podcasts and all those shows.
Okay.
You understand?
For sure.
Get us on when you can. I ain't worried about that. But we sending out prayers right now on you getting that head coaching job, bro. That's what we need. And you to continue to be great. You know what I'm saying? I love you, man.
I appreciate it, bro.
I seen
love you too, bro. Happy birthday. Hold on.
When we was wilding and acting a damn fool.
I'm finna get a shot. I gotta get a shot.
That's that birthday blast.
He finna get right, man.
Gotta get a shot.
Oh, my nigga.
Love you, boy.
Hey.
You got that Patron for you, baby.
Hey, boy, I love you. Hey,
yeah.
Man.
You ain't got to even say nothing, boy. Hey, get me on the cigar. I want to get on the cigar so we can talk about some other things that ain't legal that we think gonna be legal.
I got some more cigars. We can't smoke them on the podcast right now,
but we gonna get to it.
Come on, hey, come down to the game. Come down to Jacksonville, man. I got you.
You ain't said nothing. Before we get out of here, B-Mac, I always hit our guests with a major question. Hit them with that question, B.
How do you want to impact the world?
Oh man,
That's the heavy.
The way my life is set up now, I just want to try and influence the youth to use my mistakes that I made at Michigan and I made at Southern and at the pro level, whatever mistakes I made. I want them to use my mistakes to learn from and be better. I think that, if I could teach them, this is the, we always say if you could look back and say, what have I done? Mm-hmm. I try and give those kids that right now and say, this is what I would have done. This is how I would have done it. So this is how you should do it now because this is what the world wants. So I made those mistakes already. You don't have to do it again, bro. I've been down that road. I done stole the beer out the store. You know what I'm saying? I done met the girls. I done met. You know what I'm saying? I done smoked the weed when I wasn't supposed to. I done did all that. You know what I'm saying? I did the stuff I wasn't supposed to do. Right. So you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? You could learn from me and say, Coach did it. He might have turned out okay. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't do it, it's the potential. I think about it all the time. Had I not left the University of Michigan, would I still have been a 5th round pick? I was a starter there at Michigan when I left. My last game at Michigan, I was a leading receiver in that game in the Hall of Fame. So You know, we talk about, you know, had I not left the University of Michigan, you know, would I be a first-round pick? You know, would I have had the opportunities that Tony Gonzalez may have had going to a different unit? You know, being Mel Kiper's, you know, best available from the third round on, because, you know, things you did at Michigan, you know, it's questionable character, you know what I mean? Because I'm coming out the year after Lawrence Phillips, so they questioning everything, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, just let kids learn from my mistakes, man, and try and teach them and guide them. And I know I ain't gonna be able to save all of them, but, you know, as many as I can, as many as I can help, just go to college and get that experience, because it'll change their life, mostly for the good. And I'm gonna try and do that.
That's what's up, man.
Say, man, you know I love you, man, and I'm so thankful and grateful for what God is doing in your life, my G, because you always been a real one, and I knew He was gonna bless you. It was just a matter of time of us getting it right. You understand me? I'm so proud of you. That job coming too, man. You finna get that head coaching job,
I always
bro.
appreciated the love, man.
Hey, man.
You know, after I left Michigan, man, they always still loved, man, and I really appreciated that, man. You know, because, you know, the choices I made, you know, was on me, you know, but y'all still showed me love, man. The 5-5. I mean, every time I see them, wherever I ran up on them at, you know, they'd be like, "Oh man, what's up, D?" You know what I'm saying? And they always gave me love. I remember running up on Jalen in New York at the All-Star game my rookie year. You know, I hadn't seen him in 3-4 years. Right. You know, and he showed me the same love that we got like right now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just appreciate that and appreciate you having me on, man. I'm gonna have you on the Keep It Real podcast. We get you a cigar, man. We link, bro. We changing our narrative. Everybody getting their own, owning their own. We changing the narrative. This is part of what we planned on early in the game. It just took God's timing, bro. You understand me? So I love you, man. Thanks for always making time for me as well, my brother. You understand what I'm saying? And we're going to get to it, man. I got Chris in here with that Sky's Kitchen. Man, appreciate all the love with that food and that boudin, Chris. Keep doing your thing. You out here blessing the city, blessing the community, man. We on this Rodney Reed, man, freeing Rodney Reed. We're going to stay on this. We're going to stay on injustice. Damon, if it's any injustice in your area that we need to be aware of, link us with that, man. The locker room, you know what we always talk about. We get to sports and everything that's real that affect lives. We love you. Yeah, you saw that. We back on. Shouldn't you shout outs? You saw the lady in Jacksonville, man, the Navy lady with the girl been missing? Yes. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Yeah, she on life support. She done tried to kill herself. Oh man, see. Yeah, they found they ain't released the findings of that body, but it's like pretty much they sure it's pretty much her. Cause that's when they found that. That's when they was going to arrest her. So it's a sad situation. But you know, that's what we want to try and change. You know what I'm saying? That narrative, man. That you know, we can be those guys that can stand in the gap. You know what I'm saying, for them parents. You know what I'm saying, that feel like it's too much. You know, we got a coach that, you know what I'm saying, that can stand in the gap, you know what I'm saying, to help these kids, man, because that kid ain't asked to be here. You know what I'm saying, are we doing, you know, somebody helped you, Ray, somebody helped you, Matt, you know what I'm saying, get to where you was at. So we can do the same, you know what I'm saying, we can treat everybody like that. You know, I think the world would be a better place, man. True, man. True statement, bro. I love you. We taking it out on that. We see y'all next Wednesday. Mac Facts back. Mac Facts, man. We celebrate. I'm going to be more calmer, man. But the 29th, man, Ginger's Lounge, we doing this thing live on the 29th. Get out there. We're going to do what we do. Say, boy, one more drink. Yes, sip it up. Toast it. I'm toasting mine, and I'm going to get the mine off camera, baby. Hey, 46 ain't never looked this good, man. I'm in my worldwide gear. I'm repping them Cowboys still. We true blue forever, baby. Go Blue Michigan, 5-5, worldwide. Damon Jones, we keep it professional and 100. We see y'all next week, baby. Peace. Peace. I love you. Hey, send me that info, D. Yeah.